Before we start, I would like to invite you to my free Telegram channel. I post my thoughts about life, about my life experience, some funny stories and observations. And of course, I'm gonna talk about kink as well. Something we all want, right? So let's dive into kink. Let's analyze Fdom content that we see nowadays. So probably lots of you, and it doesn't matter which side you're on, whether you are a submissive man or if you're a dominant woman who just wants to start her journey, probably you had this negative experience with Fdom content. Because once you realize that there is something inside you, this type of craving, as a man you want to submit to a woman, or as a woman you feel that you don't really want to be submissive to a man, and maybe you would like to be a dom, maybe you would like to be worshipped, and both of you search for Fdom on the internet, and the results that you see, some of them might be appealing, but I would say that lots of content would probably put you away, unfortunately. And I've heard the same stories from subs, because not everyone is into humiliation, not everyone is a masochist, not everyone is seeking cruelty, because you will probably find something intense. If you look for Fdom content, you'll probably find something catchy, something more or less unusual. For like, if you are not familiar with any kink life at all, you never had it, you never experienced that, it would be too much. And as I said, for many people, it would be a turn off, because they would think, oh my God, that's too much. That's too intense. I don't want to participate in this. I don't want, well, let's imagine that it's a man. And as I said, not every submissive man is into humiliation. Not everyone is into pegging. Not everyone is into chastity, believe it or not. Some men just find this, I call it masculine urge, to provide for a woman, to serve a woman, to worship a woman. Same for dominant women, or those who, want to try it. They just want to be worshipped. They just want to be treated as a goddess. She does not want to physically torture a submissive man. And besides being not representative enough, I believe that Fdom content that we see nowadays has a lot of disadvantages for people. Also for those who are in kink already, because they are somehow pushed to believe that in order to be a sub, you have to do more and more and more. There are so many questions from submissive men who say, how do I increase my pain tolerance? How do I surpass my limits? Why? Why would you do that? The thing is that I believe that you should do less, not more. You should watch less porn. You should indulge, probably in even less kink play. Because once you become overstimulated, once you become like way too spoiled with the amount of play, you will crave more and more and more. And what's more? What are you going to do? Are you going to take your skin off? Like, what kind of pain do you want? It's just like with everything, you have to know when to stop. If you want kink to bring pleasure, you have to know the right dosage. Because just like anything, it can destroy you. It can be an amazing thing for fun, for self-exploration, for therapy, but when it's too much, there is nothing good about it. You have to remember that kink is just a part of your life. It's not your whole life. It's not your whole personality. Yes, you are kinky. Yes, you like to play. Yes, you identify as submissive. So what? It's not your whole identity. Just don't let it shift your perception of yourself. And about the perception, yeah, of ourselves. Since Fdom right now, it's more like a movement. You will see it in culture. Yeah, you will see it in movies, in music. Yeah, there are now songs where women express their dominance. Yeah, you're gonna get on your knees, you gotta pay, you gotta do this. I'm not gonna wait for your paycheck. No, do it now. Obviously, I understand where it's coming from. It's like women feel as if they're reclaiming their power. Yeah, they take their power back. But at the same time, I can also see the negative side of it, because Femdom is becoming an instrument of hating men. And again, Femdom has nothing to do with this, because when you deal with the submissive man, oh, you're not supposed to hate him, because if you hate someone, you shouldn't be doing this. Kink is not the place where you bring actual harm to the person. So Femdom is now associated with feminism. It's another exploration of fighting for female rights. But since having men on their knees before you is not a human right, even if you might play with this thought, yeah, that's just a fantasy, it's not a human right. So what is it all about? On the one hand, I understand that there are a lot of men who, well, on the submissive spectrum, and who want some sort of female supremacy to come to this world and just dominate all men. But these are fantasies, okay? They have nothing to do with reality and female dominance. And, well, I don't really like to say about female dominance outside of kink. I would say female leadership has nothing to do with enslaving men, the way it's presented. So we take out some certain things from the kink world, from the world of just psychosexuality, and we insert it into the culture. And then there are some social expectations. And maybe I do like it as a woman. It's like, yeah, finally we can get whatever we want. But at the same time, I can also think as a human, and I can look at the situation, you know, like from afar. And I don't want women to become like totally this ungrateful brats, yeah, the way it's presented. I want it to stay sort of a role play. There is nothing great about it to be a human like that. You know what I mean? I'm all for women to be provided for, protected, pleasured, to be spoiled by men. Women deserve it. But at the same time, I don't really like seeing women who act entitled. Like, based on what? And that's one of the main qualities that you should have as a dom. You should understand why you feel entitled. What and why. You have to know who you are, because knowing and holding your worth has nothing to do with arrogance. And you yourself wouldn't like these qualities in other people. It doesn't matter, man or woman. So getting back to kinky content, femdom content, when you look for it, you'll probably find the most trendy things. One of the most popular kinks nowadays is feminization. And I already made videos about it, that maybe some time ago it was all about exploring your feminine side, yeah, just doing what's forbidden. Now it's a part of the whole woke agenda. And again, I already talked about it. I talk about it quite often because I'm quite bothered by it. I receive messages from young men who tell me that my content saved them from taking hormones. They truly believe that they were women. Because it takes nothing to become one, right? Oh, okay, you were born one, sure. But then I really feel sorry for thousands, if not millions, of young men who just stay home, have this like toxic father figure. They respect their mom, probably a lot, or maybe they have like a complicated relationship when mom is strict, or they're like a little bit jealous slash fascinated by their mom when she's like so beautiful and feminine, and they like what she does to herself, and the male figure is always negative, and they don't want to be associated with that because, well, masculinity is presented not by media, yeah, but by the environment, by their society, by men around them. Like they don't have good role models, or maybe they just don't fit in. Maybe because we have this strict distinction between masculine and feminine qualities, and some men just don't fit in. And instead of, self-exploration, discovering this feminine qualities in themselves, and again, they're like relatively feminine because all these things, even if I like to say, oh, this is masculine, this is feminine, submission from the masculine, leadership from the feminine, well, to me, it's all hormone-based. Or if we talk about some stereotypes, I want the stereotypically feminine qualities to be recognized as also powerful, not silly and hysterical. That's it. But other than that, I believe that it's a very vague line between masculine and feminine qualities. I don't like this really just following, divine masculine, divine feminine. I do like using these concepts because I think that they are very useful, because it's easier for us to understand images. They don't have a strong connection with their masculine side because they're probably ashamed of it, because it's like a source of sin somehow. So they prefer to associate themselves with stereotypically feminine qualities. And the stereotypes are often toxic, because feminization is all about outfits and some certain behavior and holes, and getting railed in these holes. That's what makes you a woman, right? As they believe. That's very interesting, and I find it regressive. And I think that lots of DOMs probably don't even realize what kind of input they have into the whole cultural shift, into the whole, well, if there are accounts that basically tell men to start taking hormones, I think that this brainwashing sissy porn videos are not safe for men nowadays. I understand that it's a big source of money. However, I wanted to say, don't you feel any responsibility? But I believe they do, and they're proud of it, because that's a sort of revenge. Most don't care what's going to happen to this man. So when you engage in this type of content, you always have to remember that there is no one to take care of your interests. If you meet a dom who's going to truly care for you, just know that you're lucky. And nowadays it's rare, because nowadays doms do not come from the world of these rules of BDSM. They come from a certain culture and certain values. Okay, another most popular femdom kink is a woman with a strap on. So somehow a man who wants to try femdom searches for online content, and he will immediately find pegging videos. I've already made videos about it, about pegging, and also about penis-centered femdom. How a woman who wears a fake penis somehow becomes dominant. That's the symbol of power. So we just repeat the same stereotypes, right? Male genitalia is powerful, female genitalia is weak and submissive. And we might say that dominance is contextual. Whatever brings you pleasure, whatever makes you feel empowered, that works. But I pay attention to the symbolism, and the symbolism says, whoever has a penis has the power. Worship my thing. Another most trendy thing is public or hardcore degradation and humiliation. You will see women who set men on fire, or who bring them to the gym and spit on them right there, or who walk them on a leash in a clown mask, or on their force. And again, it gives you a feeling as if that's the definition of being a sub. And there is no wonder that some of you are going to be so put off by it. But some of you can get attracted to it, right? And believe that, well, that's the measurement of submission. That's how you're supposed to be. That's how we can decide whether he's a real sub or not. And that's the result when kink is used as a tool by culture. When people don't understand or erase the line between fantasies and reality. There are, of course, other examples, but I wanted to talk about the most common ones. And that's it for today. Share your stories, share your experience in the comments down below if you can relate to this topic. And I wanted to mention one more thing. I receive way too many messages from men who want to talk to me, who want to submit to me. And I just want to remind you that I do not respond to messages unless I receive the initial tribute. It is intentionally high. It is $100 plus. Okay? You may find my payment links in my Telegram channel in the pinned post. After that, I will respond to your message. And please do not forget to attach a note to your tribute, because I need to know your username. Because sometimes I receive initial tributes and I have no idea where they came from. And if on Throne, I can send a reply and you would receive an email. On UPay, I can't do this. There is no such option. Anyway, follow me on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on my Telegram channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.